Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the temporary shelter component of a homeless crisis response system. We will look at what a temporary shelter is, services in a temporary shelter program, who is served by temporary shelters, and why it's important to provide them. And so, what is a temporary shelter? Temporary shelters refer to a time-limited housing project where households experiencing homelessness or fleeing domestic violence may stay and receive shelter and supportive services that are designed to enable individuals to move into permanent housing. Temporary shelters may be site-based, where the housing is all at one location, or scattered site, where the housing is at multiple locations. There are three types of temporary shelters recognized by the Texas Balance of State Continuum of Care at this time: emergency shelter, inclement weather shelter, and transitional housing. Temporary shelters should and often do offer more than just a place to sleep and shower and food to eat. There are a multitude of services that temporary shelters can provide, and we'll show them on the next slide, but we'll focus on three primary ones here: case management, employment services and job training, and legal services related to securing permanent housing. Case management offers sustained and holistic support to those experiencing homelessness to work with them in assessing, arranging, coordinating, and following up on their unique needs to move them out of homelessness. Case management is about identifying the unique needs of the individual and connecting them to the services, whether offered at the shelter or elsewhere, that can support these needs. As employment is often a major factor in someone experiencing homelessness, many shelters offer employment-related and job training services. These can assist in securing employment and learning new job skills. As for legal services, sometimes individuals or families have legal situations that make it hard for them to secure and retain housing. Legal services can be utilized to overcome these circumstances and thus help get the individual or family into permanent housing and reduce the risk of homelessness being a recurring problem for them. This list of services here are just examples and are by no means a full list of services that a temporary shelter can offer. We encourage you to listen to your community and use your imagination to identify novel ways the needs in your community can be addressed. It's important to note that these services should be available to more than just those staying at the shelter, as these are critical services that can help anyone experiencing homelessness. Because temporary shelters tend to be commonly known among the homeless community, offering these services at a temporary shelter increases the chances of someone knowing about the services and accessing them. Temporary shelters should be available to anyone experiencing homelessness without discrimination based on sexual orientation, marital status, gender identity, religion, and life experiences like criminal history and substance use. While providing temporary shelter is critical for a household's safety and well-being, temporary shelters are often also the way that households experiencing homelessness receive supportive services to help them identify and/or address underlying factors contributing to their homelessness and secure housing. Shelters that can provide a robust set of services make it more likely that an individual experiencing homelessness would utilize those services and secure sustainable permanent housing. Having to travel to other locations can mean that individuals won't utilize those services, even if transportation is provided. Utilization of these services increases the chances of ending one's current homelessness and preventing recurring homelessness. For these reasons, it's important that temporary shelters provide more than just a bed, shower, and food to eat. If you'd like to learn more about emergency shelters or have any questions, you can email THN at esg@thn.org. For information on transitional housing, you can email txboscoc@thn.org. Thank you for listening.